inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Welcome back, everybody. I'm excited every time I have a guest. So today I have a special lady in the studio with me. And oh God, where do I begin? We met online in a Facebook group. And I've watched this brilliant soul evolve from just looking like this beautiful, nice, quiet lady to looking at her like, oh my gosh, she's a freaking beast. I mean, she's one of those people that if you're not paying attention to her, you would sleep on her because her demeanor, I've always loved this about you. I'm saying this now as we're doing this intro. You've had this meek, this mild demeanor, yet you have a very strong go get 'em type of spirit. And I love that because sometimes when we think go get 'em, you might think like me, look at the wild lady with the shaved head, the purple hair. She's like ready to get out there. And ladies, there's like no shade to our skin. There's no specific hairstyle. There's no specific body shape. You know, we all are beasts in our own right. And because I've gotten a chance to know you intimately, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I have a woman on the podcast right now who does not play. She is a beast and she does whatever it takes to get the job done. So have fun, listen to her story because there are going to be a ton of nuggets and there's going to be a ton of inspiration. You don't want to miss a single word that comes out of her mouth. So Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you, August. What a wonderful introduction. Yes, we met on another Facebook group, and I remember being like, wow, August is so cool, and she's paying attention to me. This is fantastic. And we just clicked, and we've had that connection, and it's been fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you want to, I didn't want to stop you, but you want to go ahead, tell the people about you, who you are as a woman. Just who is Jennifer?
Yes. So I'm a mother of 4. I am busy beyond belief. My 4 children, one is grown, one is out of the house now, but I have 2 teenagers at home and a 6-year-old. So I basically balance being a mom, being a wife, and being an entrepreneur. So it's kind of the whole, everything under the sun, you name it, I'm going to do it. That's my spirit.
And so we have something in common, right? That gap, mine's a little bit bigger than yours because I got the 22, 12, 4, and 3. And hats off to all the women out there who are entrepreneurs making it happen with kids and the little ones because it's a big deal. It's big business. You know, being an entrepreneur, starting a business and being dedicated to it takes a lot of time. but
Yes.
the love that we have for our children and wanting to be there and make sure that they get everything they need to blossom takes a lot of time too. And I just want to commend you because I watch you juggle it all, and it's wonderful. We're not even into your business yet, but I love how you've infused your business into your family. So why don't you kind of talk to everybody and let them know exactly what it is that you do?
Sure. I am in the business of helping women get healthy. Basically, 4 years ago, I was introduced to a company and I fell in love with the idea of finding a way to help women get back that vigor, that energy, to get that sleep back that they've been struggling with, and just to really find themselves in a spot where they don't have to abandon their health to take care of their family. They can be healthy and take care of their family. And that's just been a passion of mine. I've pretty much, I have a bachelor in science. I was a biology major in college. I've pretty much studied ways to be healthy for the last 20 years. I have a lot of conditions that run in my family. So we have diabetes, we have high blood pressure, we have cancer, pretty much anything under the sun, someone in my family had it.
Mm.
And I always had this fear as a child that I would grow up into some of those things. So I've constantly been looking for ways to make sure that I can be the best me that I can be, that I can help my family to stay healthy. We have a lot of issues with hyperactivity and ADHD. We had to make a whole dietary change to make sure that my son did not go off the charts crazy because of his hyperactivity. So health has just been very important to me my whole life.
I like that. You just kind of plowed right into talking about what you do. And I always like to ask entrepreneurs, what is the passion behind what you do? Because I see so many people try to do things for profit. And where there is no passion connected to that, there will be no profit. Or if there is profit, there will be no peace. And that's just the reality of it. So your passion is a natural desire to put forth preventative options to make sure people are healthy. But I love how you're on this mission now. You've done it with your own family. And you're like, I want to help other people do it. Now, I just want to go ahead, and spill the beans. I'll leave it up to you whether or not you do or don't say anything about the specific company that you work with. But I don't discriminate on this podcast, ladies. And some of you've heard different coaches say, oh, yeah, I have a group for entrepreneurs, but you're not welcome in here if you're an MLMer. You're not welcome in here if you do. I saw that so much in the industry, and it really got up under my skin because there are people who are crushing it, who are killing it, who are changing the lives of their family, but they're doing MLM stuff. And you can't tell somebody what to do or how to do it. So you're passionate about health, but you're not necessarily passionate about being in the lab, and taking all of the fruits and the veggies and compressing them into a tablet so sometimes you have to marry your passion with something that someone else has already created. And I love how you didn't introduce the company anyway, because you've learned something that a lot of MLMers don't understand is that no matter what, you still have to brand yourself, because you are the individual that people are connecting with. And that is paramount for anybody that's listening. That's like the golden nugget. If you didn't learn anything from her, go back and rewind, listen to her introduction. She didn't say I'm a distributor for such and such and such. She said, I'm in the business of helping other women get healthier. Now, let's kind of still look at this whole journey, right? Let's go ahead and just jump into the quote unquote not so good side of things, because this whole podcast, Real Women Don't Bitch, is about not bitching. It's about standing. It's about doing. You spent a lifetime looking for ways to prevent things that you saw coming in your own family. Mm-hmm. But I also know that a lot of times what you keep thinking about that you want to prevent, you're still going to attract that thing to you because you're steadily thinking about it. Do you mind, since I know some of your story, elaborating on any personal aspects of things that came tumbling down? What kind of things that you have to wrestle with health-wise on your entrepreneurial journey, be that with you or the kids or anyone else, that really kind of pushed this over the edge for you to say, oh, no, I've got to be very serious about this?
Sure. Well, so about 4 years ago now, my husband had a heart attack at the age of 38. And that was a real big check, because while we, for the most part, we led a healthy lifestyle, we didn't lead a healthy enough lifestyle. And so it was kind of a reality check to slap me in the face to go, okay, so no, we don't eat any artificial. And yes, we tend to lean towards all natural, but we eat a lot of pasta and we eat a lot of bread and carbs, and we don't eat enough vegetables. And so we kind of had to make a turning point for the family to where we would say, let's plan our meals out. Let's make sure we're putting more vegetables in, and honestly, after 4 kids, well, 3 of them are mine and 1 is my husband's, my body wasn't the way I wanted it to be anymore either. And I'm carrying around a little bit extra around my midsection. And I'm going to tell you, when I had my 3rd child, she was maybe 3 or 4 months old. She wasn't very old, but my oldest daughter's friends would come and say, is your mom going to have another baby? Is she pregnant again? And I got to tell you, that's kind of not the best thing to hear when you're trying to get rid of that baby fat and you want to feel good about yourself. And you've got people who are like, oh, you shouldn't wear that because that kind of makes you look like you're expecting again. So between having, the health issues with my husband, and my daughter was itty bitty at the time that this had happened, I was like, that's enough. It's time. We have to do something as a family. And like I said earlier with my son with the ADHD, we have enough family issues that I just said, it's time to do something, and let's get ourselves back on track and get the whole family healthy first.
Wow. Now, number one, I admire your transparency. And I really want to go back to the whole thing with the tummy thing, because that's real for women. I look at women every day and I'm like, they need to be more visible. They need to let their audience see them. But when you have not necessarily low self-esteem, but when you're not 100% proud of who you are and how you look, whether that's on video or even going out to see people, that could be a block. That can stop you from moving forward. And here it is, you're in the business of health. And, well, can I really sell these products if I haven't, reached that level of that optimal zone of health? So talk a little bit, personally, professionally, can you remember some of the things that were impacting you? When you think, how did that affect you as an entrepreneur for you not to feel very good about your appearance?
Oh, definitely. Body image is a big thing that I've struggled with my whole life. I'm a very small framed person. So the only place my body carries its fat is around my midsection. So I know a lot of people who struggle with weight, but I could never say anything about my weight because it wasn't my weight that was the issue. It was my figure. It was my body image of myself. And so I had this internal struggle going on that you're not able to lose those last few inches, but you eat healthy and you go to the gym and you work out with a personal trainer and you do all of these things. You go outside and ride your bike in the summer. You're very active. You chase your kids around. Like, there's no logical reason why I should struggle with those last few inches around the waist. But I didn't feel confident enough in myself to actually tackle it. I didn't feel like it was okay because too many people I felt in my head had real issues and mine was just a little issue. So when I finally took that step and said, it's okay for me to want to fix me, it's kind of when I had a breakthrough in my business as well. Because it was like, now my confidence is going up as I'm shrinking my belly. Now I'm feeling like now I can stand up here and say, this is what I did to get healthy, and this is my results, and this is how it has helped me, and I feel fantastic for doing it. And it was the best decision I ever made, because internally, I mean, I had tried, like I would pick up the bottles of the Carcinia, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. And I would I wouldn't tell anybody. I'm like, oh, and I'll take these and maybe that'll help. And nothing I had tried would help. Working with a personal trainer, I even bought one of those online, you need to do these exercises if this is your figure problem, like everything under the sun to try to get rid of that belly. But I didn't want to tell anybody I was doing it because I didn't feel like it was okay for me to work on that part of me, because I had this mental game going on where, because I wasn't overweight, how could I justify doing something to lose weight? And so, like I said, it became this confidence builder to say, it's okay. It's okay to fix the problem that I have with my own body image. No matter what my body looks like, I can be comfortable in my own skin again.
I love this. This is powerful. And the reason being is I always seem to be the person playing devil's advocate, because I say the things that people are thinking and don't want to say, or I say the opposite of what everybody else is saying. And so there's, to me, this is just me, and I'm not saying everybody is doing this. There's this movement of no fat shaming, no body image shaming, and it's went too far. It's went so far that women are beginning to be comfortable being unhealthy. Oh, well, this is okay because at least I love myself, and I'm going to go out here, and even though I'm 275 pounds, I'm still beautiful. And you know what? There are some people who since childhood have had an issue with weight. But some of you know, and I say this as a woman who has dealt with this and is dealing with this, some of you know that you have a predisposition to be healthy. You're not wanting a figure, who says this crap, don't be trying to be your 18-year-old self, that body's gone, as if once you turn 30 or 40, you're supposed to look unhealthy. But we keep seeing all of these grandmas on here crushing it, bodybuilding or whatever. And so what's happening is that, no, we're ignoring the issues. No, you should not fat shame. No, you should not look at another woman, point a finger or judge, because you don't know if she has a thyroid issue. You don't know if there's a critical illness that she does not know how to heal and to soothe the pain. She has an eating disorder or something of that nature. But what you don't do is, when it's time to have a candid conversation, is say, you know what, this issue that you have is something that you actually can fix. And don't think that it's wrong that you want to fix it. Because people say, what are you doing? Are you watching the tabloids? There's just too much sex on the magazines, and there's too much, these Hollywood model figure chicks got people in an illusion. But what the reality is that the obesity rate in the United States and abroad is continuing to rise. And so I love the fact that you're saying, wait a minute, I have a right to fix this. The other thing that I like is that you brought up the point that you were trying a lot of different things. And so some of you ladies that are out there and you're listening, you've done a cleanse, you've gotten a trainer, you've done the diet. But when you've done something and it's not working, I already know what happens. You crash and you say, well, fuck it. I might as well eat the bag of chips because I'm not going to lose the weight anyway. And then instead of eating a bag, you graduate to eating 2 bags. And you're like, where'd this extra weight come from? And it's like, you ate it. You ate it. So I know I kind of went on a mini rant. I definitely don't want to take over your segment. But those are some things that I think that the ladies really should have gotten from that. And if you are, I'm telling you right now, we're not even to that point. If you're not connected with Jennifer, you need to, because this is a woman with a humble spirit who's going to do the very same thing that I just did for you. Let you embrace who you are, help you with your confidence, but at the same time, give you options to change that. And yes, she's in the business and there are supplements, but you also heard that she's in the business of studying. She's in the business of knowing. She's in the business of recipes, morphing the diet. So you get the best of both worlds. You don't just get supplements, you actually get a health coach who's in the business of helping you get healthier. And I absolutely love that. Now, you kind of already talked about, your low point, when you realize something had to change. We can kind of shift gears, maybe not necessarily even about the health, because entrepreneurship is just a beast of a journey. think about some other things, maybe, that you've been through with entrepreneurship. What kind of blocks kept you from moving forward, being that on social media, spiritually, what have you? What's some of the first things that pop up in your mind that you had to deal with to get over the hump beyond the image to be successful at this entrepreneurial thing?
Well, first of all, I hated MLM. Every time one of my friends would invite me to a party, you got to come to this. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come and I'll buy something at your party, but I hate this stuff and I'm not going to do it. So when the person came to me and approached me, and this was the first company that I had done, and they started to tell me stories about people and how their health was impacted, I really had to sit back and go, well, hold on. Here's a way that I can help people and make money helping people, and well, maybe this is a good idea, but I'll try it. But I didn't fully commit myself to trying it because in my head I still was consumed with the idea that MLM is bad. And it took really a couple of years for me to wrap my head around the idea that I was holding myself back with my own hangups, with my own feeling like, well, everyone around me has told me no one in MLM makes money. There's no, the only people that are successful are at the top. It's a pyramid, yada, yada, yada. Like I had heard it all. And all of this is being drilled into me from everyone around me, except of course the people in the company. And so I'm fighting with this personal going, yeah, and that's always what I've thought. And that's what they're saying. But here I am and I'm living it and I'm seeing it and I'm seeing people who are successful. And I finally kind of came to the point where I was like, the only way I'm going to be successful is if I can overcome me and stop tripping myself up and take the steps I need to move to the next level, to advance, to actually go all in and build this business and embrace the world of MLM instead of secretly in the back of my head going, oh yeah, I do MLM. That's me. Run away.
You know what's so funny about what you said though, is that that's the entrepreneur struggle period, even when it's their own business. And I want to throw that in there really quick. And I say this as a person who is a coach. A lot of you that are listening, before you get it twisted and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I feel that way. And yeah, that's true about MLM. And before you jump on that bandwagon, you do the same thing. You jump out here and you decide, well, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be an author. I am going to start my own nonprofit. And as fast as you say what you're going to do, you become consumed with the negative talk that's out there in the industry. Oh, well, people are cheap and no one really wants to pay for anything. No one appreciates a good thing when they see it coming, not realizing that your energy is counterproductive. And so if you're saying that people are cheap and they really don't want to pay, guess what you'll do? You won't put yourself all the way in. You won't charge the prices that you believe that you're worthy of getting paid because you have doubts, you have blocks. Once again, I'm loving the transparency, and everybody that's listening, you need to be saying the same thing to yourself. Have I jumped out here to be an entrepreneur, whether that's in another company, starting your own thing, doing a nonprofit, whatever it is? Have you jumped out here to do your own thing, but you have a lot of doubt, a lot of negative thoughts that are counterproductive to you being able to go out here and beast your business? Because if you do, you're going to have to fix that, because you will be your biggest stumbling block. I didn't hear you blame anybody else. You said I was getting in my own way. Well, I know you're not in your way now. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, because I see you beasting like crazy, and I absolutely love it. And I admire that about you, because I do know what it takes to do that. It's not necessarily my thing, but I've done it myself in the past. So here you are now, you're beasting. You got over that. What helped you do that? Who helped you? What helped you? Tools, resources, the whole nine. Just spill it. Help these ladies out.
Well, first, I started by joining a community of entrepreneurs. That was my first step. I need to surround myself, instead of with the people who hate this, who are in my life. I need to start surrounding myself with people who are all about building a business. It doesn't have to be MLM, but building a business and being an entrepreneur and being in a support group. That was the first step. And then after a few months of being in a support group, I finally, it took me some time, came to the realization that investing in me meant hiring a coach to help me do it. Taking that step, trusting that I don't know everything. And yes, I can learn from the people in my company to a degree. But you look at any company and they all have their own way that they do things. But there's so many ways to build. There's so many ways to grow and learn. And I really felt like I needed to step outside the company and get coaching and learn what worked best for me and how to build my business my way.
Now, I heard two things, community and coaching. I'm gonna come back and respond to those, but I'm gonna throw a third one in the mix just because I know you and you put pictures on Facebook too, the whole nine, tools, resources. You're a reader.
Yes.
It seems to be a lost art, but talk to the people too about what has reading done for you.
Oh, absolutely. So I first was introduced probably about a year into my first company to Eric Worre, GoPro. And that was the first network marketing book I read. And honestly, it just blew my mind. There were so many things to think about that had never crossed my mind. And so from there, it just expanded. And I would either go to the library or I would go look for podcasts, or I liked audiobooks because I could listen to them while I'm driving. As I mentioned, I'm kind of busy with 3 kids in school and activities after school. And so if I can put something on in the car that's going to either inspire me to be a better me, and then ways to improve my business, ways to talk to people, ways to reach out to customers easier, classes, teaching, except through books, through audiobooks. I would love to sit down and read paper books. I do that too when I have time. Just whatever I can get my hands on, I'm all about educating myself to help move forward.
Absolutely. I was about, I want to say between 19 and 21 was when a lot of MLM opportunities came to me and I started trying them. And I honestly have to say that was the place where the injection of reading to another degree was placed in me. I was naturally a reader and a writer, but the one thing about those companies, they tell you need to read The Millionaire Next Door. They tell you to read Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They instruct you. And that's the beautiful thing. Most of them, at least the ones that I know about when I was coming up, they were like, hey, everything that you've been taught in school, we're not saying trash it, but this is another ball game. This is another arena, and you need to be educated on another level. And that was important. But I want to go back to what you said about community. And I know that a lot of people say, entrepreneurship is hard because it's a lonely road. And once again, that's one of those statements that I like to challenge, because there are some aspects of it that are lonely. And there may be some times where you feel like you don't have support from your family. They don't get you. They don't understand you, or your closest friends may reject you because you're too excited about your business and they don't get it and they don't want to hear about it. You can share everything else in the world with them, but now all of a sudden you can't share that. There's so many different things you go through, but the reality is, the internet has made it where we can literally have community and have camaraderie with people all around the world. And some of you, the reason why your journey feels so lonely is because you're still trying to force people who don't get you to understand you, when part of the ability for them to understand you and get you may be to watch the living testimony of your evolution. It may be to watch you stand in the truth that you know and watch you expand and evolve, and to help hold you up, being around some other people that are going to say, I got you. When you cry, they're going to send the sad faces and then send you messages. Maybe you're going to hop on a call. They're going to say some words that can help, bring you back down. Those things are priceless. Entrepreneurship does not have to be lonely if you're not being too picky and being selective. The other thing is, especially for those of you that are out there that are listening, that do MLM, you do need to understand the value of coaching. That's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people will say, I don't need a coach. I'm surrounded by mentors, and, I have people, and I've gotten spammed by some MLMers, and I've even said to them, hey, by the way, I was just wondering, do you have a coach? Because you just offered me this and did this, and oh, I work with the best. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and they brought up Eric too, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, no, you don't work with him. You probably read his book, but you're not executing whatever it is that he's saying that you're supposed to do. And it's amazing, right, how many of us, we can get out there and start doing stuff, and we don't really know how to do it. And so having a coach, a real coach, is going to help walk you through that process and what it looks like. And that's what will distinguish. You can tell when someone has a coach and they're an MLM, because a person that does not have a coach would have came right on here, would have been like, oh yeah, I'm with Primerica, Mary Kay, Avon, such, this is what I do. They would not have personally branded themselves. They would not have learned to do that. They would have wanted to make sure that they were proud. And once again, I love that about you. So tools, resources, community. It takes a village. It's not just that one thing that makes you successful. It's not that one thing that you can implement. You've implemented several things over the years to get you where you are right now, and that's absolutely wonderful. We still got a little bit of time. Look at me, just in a way, but that's okay. What is your primary circle of influence like? That's a good question for everybody. What is your primary circle of influence? When you think about those top 5 people that are around you, what values do they have that help hold you guys together? What should these ladies be looking for in relationships?
Well, I will talk about now. My primary circle of influence wasn't always this way, but I look for people who are ambitious. I look for people who are not excuse makers. I very much struggle with this happened. And so I couldn't do it because this happened. So I try to surround myself with people who are positive thinkers, ambitious, go-getters. I already said positive, just uplifting, who are going to say, you got this, you can do this, or who expect me to say the same when they need it. Just supportive. I like to surround myself with people who are very intelligent. I find that if I am looking up to someone, then I'm aspiring to be like them, instead of being like, oh, well, that wasn't very smart. So yeah, I try to surround myself with people who are professional, who are experienced, who are, also doing well in their lives, who are not necessarily at their low points, but who are in a good place, who are moving forward, who are looking for goals. That kind of.
I like that too. And you made me think about something with that last one that you said. I know that sometimes it's very difficult to let go of certain relationships or distance yourself from them because you're looking to soar. But the people that you are around are complacent, or they're like, this is the everyday normal routine. And you have to be really careful, because when you're around that kind of energy all the time, when those not so good days come in the entrepreneur world, guess who's going to find themselves using that same kind of language? And as entrepreneurs, we have to have the eye of the tiger. We do have down days, but we do have to have a strong source of self-reflection, internal validation, and strength, so that ambition can keep standing up, where you have to pull yourself up sometimes. And like you said, but it's good to have individuals around you who have those character traits. So in the event that you're a little lower than normal, because it happens, you got someone who you can grab their hand and they will help pull you up. I just want to thank you, because you've given a wealth of knowledge just by talking about who you are and what you do. As I'm elaborating a little bit, I want you to think about the final words of wisdom, that you would want to give to the women that are listening to this podcast, to let them know that they can do this. entrepreneurship is a battle regardless, but I just really want to reiterate why you're focusing on that, ladies, in my mind, and maybe that's just me because of my own bias, there is such a negative connotation with those three letters, MLM. When you see a woman who's killing it, who's crushing it, who is consistent, who's diligently going after it, it deserves a lot of respect. Because it's one thing to be like, what are you doing? You know, at least people will say, what are you doing when you start your own thing? As soon as you even look like you're about to breathe, and they give you the middle finger, you know, and they're gone. So all of the guests have been phenomenal, and I'm not trying to make one shine over the other, but when someone who does this type of work says this is what you got to do to keep your head in the game, I just want to reiterate again, you really should listen. So what are those final words of wisdom, Jennifer, to let the people know that they can do this? What do they got to do?
Well, I guess I would say you got to find someone who's going to lift you up. You got to find someone who's going to hold your hand and walk that walk with you, because it is very doable and it is very possible to make money in this industry. But you got to look for integrity in the company, first of all, because there are some amazing, amazing companies out there in MLM. But you have to find the one that not only does the company have integrity, but you have passion behind what that company does. And when you find that and you have those two things together, you can't help but succeed, because your passion will push you to success. You just have to follow your heart and make sure you look for integrity. That's huge. You want a company that's going to support you, that's got a good pay plan, and you get those things, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Passion, integrity, and support. Sounds like a good recipe to me. So where do they find you? I know you guys want to connect with her, and we've been a little shh, you know, she hasn't said anything, and I totally understand why she hasn't just yet. I mean, if you want to know, what does she do to get rid of that, you know, that little tummy tuck, you know, that little belly fat? What are those things that she did to reverse the issues with the ADHD, the high blood pressure? You know, what are the products? Take the time. You see what she's saying? She's not trying to hurry up and throw you at the company. She's very much about relationships. So I want you to listen to her and then go follow her. And I'm going to also have the links on the website. But where do they find you, Jen?
Well, you can find my profile on Facebook, which is just my name, Jennifer Wolfley. I'm on Instagram, Books and Bikes Mama. And then I have a little group for moms, if you're a mom that's watching this, called the Healthier Mom Project. And that's a place where, no pitching, that's not for my business, but where I can connect other moms who have struggles with their kids. Maybe their kids all they want is junk and they won't eat real food. And we can share stories of what we've been through together and how we've overcome that. And, you know, I personally had to teach my children, because we didn't eat the best foods. When my oldest two were little, we were like Pop-Tarts for breakfast and mac and cheese and hamburger helper, and just I get grossed out even thinking about it.
Right.
So I have a community of moms that, you know, share your recipes, share what you've done, and hear my stories and hear what I've done. And we help each other overcome those struggles. And so, like I said, you can just follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Instagram, or you can join my group. Absolutely.
So ladies, do that. Go to the podcast website. Go to www.realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com, and all of her information will be there, her bio, so you can learn a little bit more about Jennifer. But if you already got that trigger finger out, go on your device, go and look for her on IG and or Facebook and connect with her. Jennifer, thank you for coming. I plan on having her back. We were plotting, right? We want to come back and not just talk about the entrepreneurial journey. I'm hoping that you're saying yes as you're nodding, that you're accepting my invitation to come back and let's do a series. Let's do a series about some of the health issues that are plaguing entrepreneurial women, because the other aspect of being able to hang in there is to be able to have energy and to have sustainable health. And so she's shaking her head. So yes, for those
absolutely. I think that's a wonderful idea.
So for those of you that aren't watching on YouTube, but you're actually listening on the podcast platform of your choice, we're going to be back and we're going to give you some more information to empower you and to help you transform and experience a quantum leap in all aspects of your life, not just in your spirit and in your pockets, but also in your body. All right. So we are out of here. Jennifer, you want to tell everybody bye?
Bye. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.don't bitch.podcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.